Boa noite a todos. Boa noite. Quero agradecer a equipe do Google Campus São Paulo por nos receber aqui. Meu nome é Luciano Tim Bergman. Eu sou responsável pelas relações acadêmicas da EF Education First. E vou contar um pouquinho para vocês sobre a EF, sobre a DeeDee Trotter, que é a embaixadora olímpica, e a nossa relação com o movimento olímpico. A EF é uma empresa líder em educação internacional, com destinos onde as pessoas estudam idiomas, fazem intercâmbio em 50 países e podem escolher entre 9 idiomas em que elas estudam localmente no país. E no Brasil, nós também somos líderes em inglês online, através da EF English Live. A EF tem, desde 1988, com a Olimpíada de Seul, uma relação que a cada edição dos Jogos Olímpicos tem crescido, em que nós auxiliamos eles a treinarem voluntários, como foi esse belo exemplo dos voluntários das Olimpíadas aqui no Brasil, que receberam treinamento de inglês, e o faremos também nas próximas 2 Olimpíadas de Pyeongchang e de Tóquio. Dentro desse alinhamento da missão da EF, que é abrir o mundo através da educação, e do movimento olímpico, que é fazer um mundo melhor através do esporte, essa relação se estabeleceu. E nós tivemos a honra de ter DeeDee Trotter, e a palestra vai ser em inglês, eu vou fazer um switch para inglês agora, para que ela possa acompanhar, de forma que DeeDee Trotter, que é 4 vezes medalhista olímpica, parte do time EF, e vai falar hoje exatamente sobre como criar um Dream Team e a experiência dela nesse processo. Without further delays, I'm happy to introduce you DeeDee Trotter.
We can get the mic up. Oh, there it is. Hi. How are you guys doing? Good. Thank you for coming out tonight. I'm very excited to help you guys get to a better version of yourself. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, but I'm also going to share an experience with you that I think is going to help you be the best version of yourself that you can be. Now, teamwork makes the dream work is why you're here today, right? You guys need help with this? Fantastic. I'm the girl for the job. Are you guys familiar with this terminology? There is no I in team. Have you heard this before? Well, I mean, there it is right there. It's always been there. I mean, you got to look for it, and some people might say you'll find it in the a-hole. That's not good, but it's there. Now, this is one of those things that I like to say I've maybe manipulated a little bit, because I do believe that there's a little bit of I in team. I have a story that will tell you, that'll help you explain why the I is so important. And while y'all, sorry you guys, I want to give you a little background into what it takes to be your individual best. In 2016, I retired from the sport of track and field. Now, as a retired athlete, I still struggled to try to make it through my last season, knowing that it was my last season. I still pushed forward. Here's a little bit of what an individual person pushing themselves to be the best can look like.
Hey y'all, it's your girl DeeDee Trotter. And as we get ready to gear up for the 2016 Olympic trials, I thought it was a good time to catch y'all up on some of what it took to get to this point. 2015-2016 training season was crazy, but hey, we're almost there. We're in the home stretch right now, so here's what it looked like. A little recap for the Trotter Chronicles. You know, love y'all.
Say I won't. Why y'all scared to be different? Say I won't. Why y'all scared to be different? Say I won't. We them outsiders, that's just how we live it. Say I won't. And I bet I will. You can say I won't. I might do it just to show you. Whoa, I might do it just to show you. I might do it just to show you. Why y'all scared to be different? We be like city as a B.I.G. Wanna serve these bars, got CID. Now I'm on a radar where B.I.B. Was a slave for the cause, then we got free. Used to only wanna pull up in a black sport, just a white man excelling in a black sport. Now I'm really doing pull-ups. Got a honeymoon for the summer, tryna get a six-pack for it. Say I won't catch Craig slipping in the studio at like 3 a.m. Autograph that forehead with a Sharpie pen and then Instagram. Might swag out a fanny pack. I might bring the love back. Nobody wanna change the game, man. Y'all just want more trap. Okay, say I won't rap over bagpipes. Say I won't talk about that price. To know Christ and live life like a night, my last night. Yo, about to switch up the program. I rock name brand, I rock no brand. My whole life go pro cam. I rap like I had no fans. No, they say you know, I say veto. Danny DeVito and El Pacino, those are my people. Also I'm rocking the speedo, this that casino. You bet your revenue, thinking you'll stop me, no never not letting you. You must be high on that medical, thinking I won't, better know that I bet I do, yup. Kill 'em, ooh. Say I won't. Why y'all scared to be different? Say I won't. Why y'all scared to be different? Say I won't. We them outsiders, that's just how we live it. Say I won't. And I bet I will. You can say I won't. I might do it just to show you. Whoa, I might do it just to show you. I might do it just to show you. We be like la la la.
Yeah, say I won't sell my shoes and take my kids to Chuck E. Cheese with the money. Say I won't bring my own bottle of Pellegrino to the movies with me. Say I won't. Look, I'm from an era of fast living and mass terror. Boys covered in cover girls like mascara. I don't need to keep a gun in a mask ever. I still make them put their hands up. Ask Derek, my road manager, damage all of you amateurs sneaking up on a tour bus with a demo to handle us. When I was younger, I just wanted a chain. Now a chain of events has afforded a change. Yeah. See, I've been a rebel since back in the day. I don't follow the people. I follow the leader through valleys and shadows of death, and I'm fearing no evil. So say I won't do it. Say I won't turn the music up and get to it. Won't come down H-Town all the way to Daytime in an old school drop top Buick. And I'm getting maybe 8 or 9 miles to the gallon. Still feeling like a stallion.
Yeah, now give me a round of applause, Jesus. Whew. Most people wouldn't go that crazy when they know they're on their last leg, okay? Well, that's just to give you an idea of what I used to do, not just for 2016, but also what I did for 15 years. 365 days of the year, that was my occupation. Now, that version of working hard is the I'm injured, hanging on by a thread version. The other version, at a better percentage of and better quality of health, was a lot more intense, a lot harder. But this is the struggle of an individual trying to be their very best. See, I really believe that an individual at their very best is what makes the team the strongest. In 2004, I was just 20 years old and I made my first Olympic team. And in doing so, I was fortunate enough to win a gold medal, a part of the 4x4 Olympic relay. Would you guys like to see this? Yeah, I'll pass it around. Now, I only have one rule with the medal, you guys, one rule. Don't drop it. It's never been dropped before. Don't let Brazil be the one place that ends up on the floor, okay? In 2004, I won my very first gold medal, and there's honestly a lot to my life that I would love to tell you about, but I don't have that kind of time, so I'm gonna play some really cute pictures of myself behind and let you guys get a glimpse of some of the things I've been through while I tell you a story about how that very first experience taught me a lot about team. After the 2004 Olympics, good things would happen for me, you guys. I would go on to sign a 5-year contract with Adidas. Yeah, some of y'all like, yeah, I like Adidas. Adidas, they set me up for 5 years, you guys. I had Adidas socks, Adidas pants, Adidas jacket, Adidas hat, Adidas shoes, Adidas underwear. Real story, 3 stripes on my butt. But, no but, yeah. I ended up continuing to have great success after that. I would go on to be the 2005 indoor 400-meter champion. 2006 was a great year, and 2007 was one of the best years of my career. I would be the 400-meter indoor champion and the 400-meter outdoor champion, and I ran a personal best time of 49.64 seconds for the 400 meters. Yeah. Now, 49.64 was just the starting point. I knew I had more in me. And after that, it was started to be expected that I would be in contingency for the gold medal in Beijing. So I started training like I was ready for that. January, February, March, everything was going great, you guys. But in April of 2008, something happened that I never expected. I was fine the day before. I went to sleep one night, and I woke up the next morning, and my knee was swollen to the size of a grapefruit. Now, I hadn't done anything wrong. I was completely fine the day before. So I went to my doctor. I said, hey, doc, something's wrong. You got to fix it. He says, let me take a look at it. So he goes back and does his x-rays and comes back and tells me, hey, DeeDee, got a big problem here. You have a major injury, and it requires surgery. What you have is called a chondral femoral defect. I said, doc, speak English. Know what you're talking about? He said, basically, that means you have a hole in your femur bone. And this injury requires a surgery that has about a 90% failure rate of the athlete coming back to perform the way that they used to. I said, well, hold on, doc. Whew, I need a minute. After the doctor told me that, I decided that I needed to come back to him with more questions. I said, doc, so are you trying to tell me that if I have this surgery right now, there's a chance I'll never run the same again? He said, yes, this is very possible. I said, okay, doc, well, it's April. The Olympic trials are in June. I'm going to try. This might be my last chance. So the doctor puts together a plan of how to help me get through the games. And I started out on my first race, you guys. First race of the season after my knee injury had been diagnosed, and I was ready, okay? It was live on ESPN, you guys. I'm the USA champion, so I feel good about myself. Okay, got in the race. Here we go. On your marks. Whew, okay, I got this. Set. I took off running, you guys. I started running for my life. Now this time I'm running real smooth like nothing is wrong with me. Back to the way I used to be, back on the track. But at 300 meters of a 400-meter race, I look up and I'm in last place. Now, I didn't understand this because I was like, it doesn't feel last place bad. Maybe not that bad. But you know what? I realized at that moment, I said, you know what? No big deal. You can't expect to go through life and never take a loss. That's not going to happen. You got to dust yourself off, get back up, try again. You know, loss can be the very thing that makes you strong enough and helps you to understand what it actually takes to win. So I said, I'm back, no problem, no big deal. I'm good. Went to my second race, you guys, live on ESPN. I'm still the USA champion, so I still have some swag, okay? Here we go. On your marks. Okay, it's gonna be better than last time, okay? Here we go. Set. I took off running, you guys. I'm running for my life. Now this time, I have to do better than I did last time because there's no way I'm getting last on national television again. That was embarrassing. That will never happen. And at 300 meters of a 400-meter race, I look up and I'm in last place. Now it's getting confusing. It's 2 races, national television, dead last. USA champion. At this point, I decided I needed a little additional help. So I called my coach. Said, hey, coach, I'm trying everything I know how to do, working as hard as I can. I know my knee is messed up, but I'm working hard. I'm trying. Can't be last place bad. She says, DeeDee, you're not focused enough. You're still trying to be somebody that you used to be, but your circumstances and your situation and who you are has changed. You need to change with change. Find a new way to win. So I heard her, but I didn't really fully understand that. It sounded way too profound, and I just wanted the quick fix. And she said, you need to get into your telephone booth. Now, my coach uses this analogy, telephone booth, to help us focus in a race situation. You get to a track meet, there's a lot of people, it's a lot of noise, cell phones, chaotic, just everything going on. So when you get into your phone booth, you close the door, you can see everything going on outside, but nothing can get in. You pick up the phone, you call yourself, and you tell yourself what you need to hear to get to the finish line. Self-motivation, focus. Now, she's never used this analogy with me outside of the track. I said, Coach, how do I get in the phone booth? I'm not in a race. She said, DeeDee, life is a race. Get in it. I said, okay, thanks, Coach. I got off the phone with her because she was not giving me the quickest answers. I had to think too much. So I took a night to sleep on it, and I started to think about how I could make what she said actually apply to the actions in my life. And I thought about Superman. You guys know Superman? He's pretty great, right? The girls are like, yeah, he's pretty great. I see your eyes. Superman, before he's Superman, who is he? Clark Kent. Regular guy, right? But what happens when he hears a cry for help? What does he do? He transforms. He runs. He jumps into the phone booth. He closes the door. He does some type of wiggling and moving and comes out Superman. Now, does his Superman status make him any less Clark Kent? He's still Clark Kent. But now he's a stronger, more powerful version of himself. Still Superman, still Clark Kent, but stronger, more powerful version of himself. Now, he can go out and save us all from disaster. So I thought about this analogy, and I said to myself, now this makes sense. I can go into the transformation chamber and come out Superwoman. Sounds good to me. So I went back, you guys, focused in the chamber, trying to transform myself. Went to my third race, guys, live on Eurosports. Now it's even bigger than before. Still the USA champion, though, okay? Hanging on to that. Here we go, third race. Yeah, in the phone booth, I'm ready. Okay, here we go. On your marks. Got this. Set. I took off running, you guys. I started running for my life. Now this time, there's no way I could come in last. I've been focused. I've been working hard. I've been trying everything I know how to do. But there's no way I could come in last. And at 300 meters of a 400-meter race, I looked up and I was again in last place. Now let me ask you guys a question. To be honest, how many of you guys would have quit at that very moment? You said, doggone it, there's no way. I've tried again. The old saying says try again. It doesn't say try. So I'm already out of tries according to the saying. So at this point, it would have been easy to give up. But something inside of me kept saying, DeeDee, you can do it. Don't quit now. Now during these races, I didn't tell you guys how slow I was running, did I? That 49.64 blazing time I ran last year, the year before, it would ultimately be running at 54 seconds, 53.8, 53.9. These were my times. Barely good enough to call myself professional. It's terrible. So when it came time for me to get ready for my next race, I didn't have a lot to be motivated about. But I went anyways. Knowing and believing that I can do it, went to my fourth race, you guys. I ran 51.9 seconds, and I finished first in a group of athletes that maybe wasn't the best, So finishing first maybe wasn't that hard, but still, I made it around the track, 51.9 seconds. Now, 51.9, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that that's good enough to make the Olympic team. It's not. But it was progress. From 54 to 51.9, I'll take that. So I went to the 2008 Olympic trials. But along that journey, I learned something. I learned that in order to get to where I wanted to be, I had to transform pressure into positive power. Now, let me ask you guys a question, and I want you to be very honest with me. Please be honest. Do not say what you think the Olympian in the room wants to hear. I want you to say what you really feel. How many people in this room like pressure? Raise your hand. Like it. 1, I got 2, 2.25. Can I get 3? Can I get 3? Can I get a 3 in the audience? Can I get 4? Can I get a 4? 3 is the final number. 3 people. Well, let me transform the way that you think about about pressure, because I want you guys to be able to use it as a powerful force in your life. So, for example, pressure in its scientific form is very useful into making this tangible for you, okay? So pressure in its scientific form. If you put pressure on top of anything, what will it do? It'll push it down. And if you put pressure under anything, what will it do? It'll push it up. And if you put pressure behind anything, what will it do? It'll push it forward. So by that definition, pressure is a form of power. It moves things down, it moves things up, it moves things forward. So why is it that if pressure, a very powerful force, comes into your life, you run from it? If pressure was to walk in those doors right now, some of you would get out and run out those doors. Pressure can be used as a positive force in your life, but it comes in 2 forms. This is the form you guys don't like. It comes in negative and positive. But pressure is not defined until you define it. So let me just see if I can get into the mind of a work day and show you guys how negative pressure looks. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, here we go. Okay, here comes pressure, and I am getting hit with pressure. Boom. Oh my God. Why is it that every time my boss comes into the room, he has 10 more things to do than he said yesterday? Yesterday he said that I only had to finish 1 more rep and then I would be done. But oh no, he has 10 more things for me to do. And my husband, really? Impossible. I cannot. He thinks I'm gonna make dinner, be a mom, be a boss. I cannot do it. There's no way. I'm so sick of everyone. They just need to go sit down. Kids, go sit down. I'm done. Complaining, and I miss my Uber. Okay, so that's negative, and when you spoke negativity into the pressure that you started to feel, it turned into negative pressure, and that began to push you down and weigh on you, and push you down and weigh on you. And as you let pressure push you down and weigh on you, we all know that enough pressure on top of something over time can destroy it. So, you have to transform pressure into positive power. The way you do that is you speak positivity into the pressure that you're feeling in your life. Take that same scenario. Here comes pressure. Boom, I'm hit with the pressure. Oh my gosh. Okay, my boss is a little bit crazy, but I knew that when I signed on. It's okay. I'm going to go, and he wants me to do 10 more things than he said yesterday. That's all right. I need to ask one of my friends. Let me go ask one of my coworkers if they can come in here and help me with all this stuff. I know they know what to do. They had to do something similar on a different project, so I know they can help me get it going. Okay, now my husband, he's crazy, but I knew that when I married him. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to ask him to see if he can start pulling a little more weight, but then I'm going to ask my mom to come over and make dinner twice a week just until I get this project finished. And my kids, Lord help me. But I know one thing. I'm going to ask my oldest to help take care of my youngest just for a couple of days, and she can get him dressed in the morning. That'll be fine. I'll be able to get out the door a couple minutes early, and that'll help me get this all done. I know I can do it. I believe in myself. I got this. Now, see, that's how you speak positivity into the pressure that you feel in your life. When you do that, you transform it into positive power. And when you do that, you can elevate yourself to great heights and push yourself fast in any direction that you choose. So here you are with all this pressure in your life that you don't like, but I challenge you to start transforming it into positive power, and you'll be able to use it instead of letting it weigh you down. Now, see, I had all this pressure coming at me. People, press, media, friends, everyone. What's wrong with DeeDee? She looks terrible. And right when it needed to be at its loudest, probably, I was able to tune it out and use it as positive power. I went to the 2008 Olympic trials with a 51.9-second race under my belt, which isn't that great, but it's progress. And all I had to do to make the United States Olympic team was one of three things. I had to get first place, second place, or third place in my event. If I got one of the three places, I'd be on my way to the 2008 Olympic Games and have my chance at the gold medal. That's it. First, second, or third. Doesn't matter which one. Just get one of those spots and you're on your way. So, 3 rounds. The first round of the 400, I made it through, no problems. Second round, a lot more challenging, but I made it through. The third round, this is when I finally was able to come out the transformation chamber. And when the starter said, "Runners, take your marks," guess what? Came out Superwoman, y'all. It was time to transform. They done let the crazy lady in the race. All I have to do is get first, second, or third. That's not too hard. Here we go. I got this. Runners, take your marks. Come on, Trot. Set. I took off running. This time I'm running for my life, you guys. I have to get top 3 in order to make it to the Olympic team. And all I need to do is fight a little harder and go a little faster. And at 200 meters, I think things are going great. And at 300 meters, I look up, and out of 8 people on the track, I'm in 7th place. Now, 7th place is not good enough. Told you guys I have to get at least 3rd. So here I am with only 100 meters to go, and something happened. Pressure. It came on top of me and got behind me, but at first it landed right here, because I'm human. It landed right here, and something said, "DeeDee, you've come too far now. You've come too far to quit. You've been through too much. You've endured too much during this journey. The time right now is not to quit. The time is to go." And pressure moved from on top of me when it was trying to weigh me down and got behind me and started to push me. Everything that tried to destroy me flashed before my eyes, and I said, I can't quit now. I gotta go. And I took off running, you guys, like I had just started the race. I went from 7th place to 6th place to 5th place till I was finally in 4th place. And 4th place is the one you don't want to get, because that means you missed the team by 1 spot. And here I am battling it out with the girl who wants it just as bad as I do. 5 meters, 4 meters, 3 meters, 2 meters, 1, we lean. Sonia Richards-Ross got 1st place. She made her second Olympic team. She's on her way to Beijing. Mary Weinberg never made Olympic team before. She got 2nd place. She's on her way to Beijing. But who got 3rd? I was bent down, you guys. Could barely breathe. I didn't know if I was going to have the energy to celebrate or if I was going to call the paramedics. Didn't matter. I was going to find the strength. And finally, the scoreboard said, Trotter, Trotter. She made her second Olympic team. She's going to Beijing. And when I tell you the crowd went wild, they went wild. You're the crowd. Go wild. Tiger Woods and everything. Now, that moment taught me a lot. Taught me that physical pain will sometimes try to trick you into thinking that you're not capable of doing something. But if you have mental strength and mental perseverance and you are mentally strong, you can overcome a lot of physical limitations and physical pain. But let me tell you the most exciting thing about that moment. Now, the story I just told you was about an individual, right? But the moment I crossed the finish line, I was no longer DeeDee Trotter. I was DeeDee Trotter, Team USA. See, I went from the individual to the team in just that split of a moment. And it felt good. Not only did I get this very nice jacket, it comes with a big old piece of pride pie. So here I am. No Trotter on my jacket, says United States of America, USA. And this is the moment that I'm less of myself and more of the team, but me being my best makes the team a stronger unit. So I get all the way to Beijing, you guys, holding my knee and everything. Now, wouldn't it be a great story if I got the gold? I did it. I went all the way to Beijing. The knee injury would prove to be too much for me, and from April to August was a long journey. Just didn't make it. I ended up finishing 13th overall in the 400 meters, and I had to do something that was really hard. About 30 minutes before we were going into the call room for the race, I had to give up my spot on the 4x4 relay. See, 2004, I won my first gold medal as a part of that team. Here I am back in 2008, went through all of that, and 30 minutes before we go into the call room, I had to pull out. I pulled out because I couldn't do one stride without my knee buckling. So the coach came up to me. She said, DeeDee, are you sure you can't run? Because typically, no one would ever give up their spot on the relay. It's unheard of. My alternate was hanging out, chilling with her friends on the sidelines, never thinking they would get a chance to run the day. I said, Coach, I'm not going to make that call. I cannot run. If there is any chance that I'm not going to make it around this track, I can't sacrifice that for the team. I have to make the call, the hard call, not running today. She has to run. I walked away, and for the first time in my career, something I never did was cry. I walked off for a second, felt the tears welling up in my eyes, started to cry. I gave myself about 30 to 45 seconds to deal with that because I didn't think crying was cool. Tough. And finally, I got myself together, and I went over and met the team. I said, hey, guys, I know you guys are going to go out there and do well. I know you guys got this. We can do it. You know, go out there and represent for me. Y'all got my back. Let's go. USA on 3. Still a part of the team. Still have to play a part. Went home to 2008 Olympic Games empty-handed, you guys. No medal, no money, no fame, no success, just a whole lot of failure, loss, and disappointment. I would have the knee surgery that was supposed to end my career, but thankfully they had came up with an alternative that gave me a little better chance of coming back than the previous surgical concept they threw out to me. And I would struggle, you guys. 2009, I lost every single race I ran that year. 2010, 2 years later, outdoor season, I lost every single race that I ran that year. And in 2011, 3 years after surgery, I should be doing better, right? I lost every single race that I stepped on the track to run. That's not 3 losses in one season. That's more races than I can count or even remember in 3 years. A lot of people would have quit. A lot of people would have given up. I still felt like I had something to do and something in me. So I wasn't ready to draw a new finish line. I still had one set for myself. This was challenging, but I kept pushing on. I remembered something my coach told me. She told me in 2008 that I needed to change with change. See, after I had that surgery, I still was trying to train and do all the things I used to do, but again, I was different. And it finally made sense to me what she was trying to tell me. So I had to change the way that I was trying to win. And so many times in life, I've realized that we feel like we're losing. Maybe things aren't going our way. Maybe you keep trying different things and it keeps failing and fails over and over again, and you feel like, man, things are really just not going my way. I'm losing. I'm a loser. This is what loss feels like. Loss comes in different forms. Friends, family members, loved ones, heartbreak. It comes in different forms, but all the same loss. But you know what I realize is that often we're not losing in life, is that we stop trying to win. We stop trying to find a new way to persevere and push past what is making us feel like we're failing. So I picked up a new winning strategy, you guys. Tried something else. Went out on a limb to see if I could make something else happen for myself. I started out writing things down, you guys. I wrote things down because I needed to start seeing and saying the thing that I needed to achieve over and over and over again. The more I said it, the more I believed it. The more I believed it, the closer I was to achieving it. I didn't know it then, but the actions started to add up. The first thing I wrote was never give up. I drew 2 arrows in the direction in which I wanted to go because everything in my life was telling me to quit, and I felt like I was down. So I needed to move up, and I wrote never give up. The next thing I wrote became the center of my power, you guys. I can, I must, I will. I wrote I can, I must, I will because basically everything in my life was telling me, you can't, DeeDee. You won't, DeeDee. You'll never, DeeDee. You'll never run the same. You're not able to make another Olympic team. You won't. All of that negativity, especially the voice in my own head, was the loudest. So I had to make I can, I must, I will my first responder in an emergency situation. Getting to your dreams and goals should be an emergency. It should feel of extreme urgency to you. So when you start to hear the voice or the people or the things around you trying to tear it down, start saying, I can, I must, I will. And when you start to do this, you'll see that you're able to block out and push past the negative barriers and still be on a positive forward route towards where you're trying to be. The next thing I wrote is, you are the best 400-meter runner in the world. And that you is for me, guys, not you, okay? Now notice, I didn't say in the state, in the city, in the country. I said in the world. See, I was always taught that you shoot for the moon. Aim real, real high. If you shoot for the moon and you miss, hey, you'll land amongst the stars. Always taught this mentality. So I said I want to be the best in the world. I figured if I aimed high, even if I missed it, I still land in a good place. 2012 season started off different. The last 3 years was loss after loss after loss. Was not able to break 51 seconds. in the first race of the season, at the very top, I ran 50.94, breaking down the barrier of 51 seconds that I was not able to break for 3 years. The next race, I ran 50.90. Now, as you guys can see, 50.90 is barely anything from 50.94, but what is it, you guys? Anybody? Progress. It's progress. We'll take progress. Now, the next race, I ran 50.80. Now, 50.80 is not an extremely big jump from 50.90, but what is it, you guys? It's progress. We'll take that. Now, the next race, 50.79. Now, 50.79 is barely anything from 50.80. But what is it, you guys? It's progress. Even in its tiniest form. It's almost laughable how small that progress was. But let me tell you something I learned about this progress. It taught me that progress was another form of power. Because as I started to make these little moves of progress in my life, I started to realize I became more confident. When I become more confident, I feel more powerful. So progress is now another form of power that I can use in my life. Confidence is another form of power that I can use in my life. Pressure is another form of power I can use in my life. So now that I have these forms of power working for me, I feel more powerful. And when I got to the 2012 Olympic trials, where it really counted, and I had to get one of those 3 spots, guess what? Second place, 50.02. I'm on my 3rd Olympic team, and I tell you, I don't think I could put a handful of people that believed in me. They have retired me, you guys. They said, DeeDee Trotter, who? She's done. 3 years, terrible. She's back. I want to share with you guys the race of my career. The race that helped me understand the definition, the true and alternative definition of a champion.
In the 4th lane, DeeDee Trotter. She was 5th in the Athens Olympics, then in the World Championships in Helsinki, and again in Osaka. So DeeDee Trotter qualified with 49.87.
Set.
Well, we'll see Kurashapka go off quickly, and Richards-Ross has gone off terrifically quickly. She's up on Moncho, and Moncho is just holding on to Christina Horrigu. Although she's a better first 200 metres from Horrigu, she's holding her form. And Kurashapka goes right past Richards-Ross as they approach 200 metres. And this is going to be a very, very close finish indeed, I fancy. Richards-Ross has got a lot of work to do. McCrory of the United States going well. Kurashapka comes off the bend, running very, very strongly. And Horrigu is in a good position now, second from the outside, but Kurashapka. And here on the inside comes DeeDee Trotter. DeeDee Trotter, Kurashapka, and here comes Richards-Ross. Richards-Ross is going to come through and win this one. Richards-Ross gets the gold medal this time. Oh, yes, she does. And that was another fine run by Horrigu in the end, but it went with the form book, Sonia Richards-Ross of the United States, and the time 49.56. What a race though. DeeDee Trotter went well too. That was a very, very good race indeed. Horrigu did get the silver at 49.70, a season's best. It's the 3rd time that she's run under 50 seconds. I thought that she'd crept through, and Kurashapka really was run out of it. We thought she might. She went off too quickly. But Richards-Ross 49.55, and Horrigu almost came back to retain her title at 49.70. Trotter 49.72.
Was just shaded out of the medals. But a fine run with all those women breaking 50 seconds.
Yeah, indeed. Moncho didn't really feature, and I expected her to. She didn't really get a mention because she was not in contention until the final stages, really. But Horrigu sneaking past to get the silver medal. Once again, she's such a good competitor. And there is the evidence.
That's a crazy race, huh? Yeah. I like to leave this up here for a minute because I think it's an interesting I talked about fourth place a little bit. The young lady from Botswana, she got fourth place. She did it in a time of 49.73. Yeah, that was close, huh? Man, sometimes I feel bad for her. No, I don't. Who am I kidding? It's a competition. But I want to point something out to you. It's really spectacular about team, okay? You see the young lady in the front, that's Team USA. You see me right there in third, that's Team USA. And you see right here, Francina McCory, that's Team USA. Out of 8 women on the track, we had 3. So this speaks highly towards individual strength and individual perseverance and individual hard work, making the team a dominating force. See, what I think is so amazing about that is a lot of people don't realize that we don't have a lot in common except for the distance that we run. I mean, we don't have the same coaches. We don't have the same sponsors. We don't live in the same city. We don't live in the same state. We don't have a lot in common at all, except for we all like to wear long hair extensions, for the most part. But other than that, the one thing we do have in common is that we share a common goal. We all wanted to be our best for Team USA. And now, in this moment, my only goal was to try to destroy all of them, because that means me being my best. And there's also a more beautiful version of what happened in this race that taught me a life lesson, is that I've always had one idea of what a champion was: a person who crosses the finish line first, or the team that gets the victory or the #1 spot, right? That's a champion. But then by that definition, wouldn't we be a world full of losers? That can't be right. That can't be the only definition of a champion. There has to be an alternative to that. And this race taught me that, because when I crossed the finish line that day in third place, the last thing that I felt like was a loser. See, the doctor told me that there was a good chance after my surgery I would never run the same way again, but here I am, 49.72. Before the surgery, it was 49.64. If you ask me, that ain't too far off the mark. That's pretty much like I used to be. So how dare I be disappointed if I crossed the finish line and I wasn't first? Because this medal is a representation of what a champion really is. Champion is a person who'll never give up, a person who'll never quit, a person who will fight for everything they believe in, who will push past the pain and push down every obstacle in their way, who will find a new way to win when things don't work out, who will change with change. And that's what a real champion is. See, the beauty of that is that each and every person in this room has the ability to be a champion by that definition. You all have what it takes. You possess the power of champion in you. Now, see, a lot of people see a bronze medal when they look at this medal. But to me, this medal is simply a different shade of gold. See, this medal is my gold medal moment in life, people. This was my hardest work. Everything that I went hard for. It's my best. How dare I be disappointed with my best? See, we get confused sometimes because we start trying to identify what winning looks like according to someone else. Winning for each and every person in this room is different. Your finish line is not someone else's finish line. See, when I won this medal, it didn't really matter whether or not I came in first after everything was done. I realized as long as I gave my best, I would never feel like a loser. You can't. This is my gold medal moment. Don't miss your gold medal moment in life because you don't know what winning looks like for you. Get in your own lane. Get in your own telephone booth. Set your own finish line and get to it. And don't you stop until you feel satisfied with what you've achieved. When you give your best and you work hard, guess what? You're always a champion. So my different shade of gold I'd like to share with you guys, it's my bronze medal baby. It makes me the bronze medal champion of the 2012 Olympic Games. Now let me tell you guys something else. After that, I took all of my bronze medal greatness, and my teammates took all of their championship greatness, and we put it together. And we did something pretty awesome.
To that squad. And the USA, a dream team. DeeDee Trotter, the bronze medalist in the 400. Allyson Felix, the 200 champion. Francina McCrory, a 400-meter medalist, finalist rather.
Set.
So leading off for the USA, we have DeeDee Trotter, right back in form in the individual 400 meters. On the outside, Shayna Cox of Great Britain has gone off hard. So too the Russian in lane 4. The very experienced Yulia Gushina ran the opening leg also in Beijing. And between the Americans and the Russians, Christine Day going for Jamaica. But it's a USA-Russia battle, and Cox has gone off well for Britain. But here is DeeDee Trotter making ground with Gushina. It's a long stagger, of course, here. The next runners will have to run the first leg in bends as well. And it's DeeDee Trotter for the USA, then Gushina. That's going to be the order at the changeover. Let's just see as the USA baton is exchanged now. Off they go. And for the USA, it's Allyson Felix running the second leg. The 200-meter champion, and she's flying. Russia in second, Jamaica are in third, Ukraine are fourth. Britain with Lee McConnell there vying for positions behind that, but Felix is out there and flying. Well, it was a brilliant opening leg by Trotter. She ran 50.5. Now Allyson Felix. Well, as I said, she ran 48.6 in Beijing. She's going to do something special here if she can keep this going. For Russia in second place, it's Krivoshabka, who always goes out hard. And for Jamaica, it's Rosemary White. They're a bit clear of the field with Ukraine then. Now we have Allyson Felix coming up to hand on to another 400-meter finalist in Francina McCrory. They take the baton. Felix has just run 47.9 for that leg. Staggering. She's going to go into history surely. Russia are in second place. Jamaica with Sharika Williams in third, then Ukraine. Well, now for the United States of America, way out in front. Francina McCrory is leading. For Russia, it's Tatiana Firova. Then for Jamaica, it's Sharika Williams. Their whole field is spread out. Nothing much to choose between it except a little battle on for 5th and 6th place, which now Perry Shakes-Drayton is taking Britain there. But what a run this is for the USA. Francina McCrory will hand on to Sanya Richards-Ross. Away they go. 49.4 there for McCrory, so it remains quick. For Russia, it's the 400-meter champion, Natalia Anchuk. For Jamaica, it's Noveline Williams-Mills. The medals are surely between these teams, and it looks like that order, with Russia then in 4th place. Christina Horogu is being urged on by the crowd back in 5th place, and Nigeria closing on her. But really now, it's Sanya Richards-Ross pouring on the steam round the final bend, with Russia in 2nd place, Jamaica in 3rd place, Ukraine in 4th, Britain in 5th, and here comes Sanya Richards-Ross. The Jamaicans have gained a little bit on Russia, but the order is not going to change, surely, as Sanya Richards-Ross comes home to bring the United States to a terrific triumph here. USA take the gold medals because they have each now won 4 Olympic medals, and indeed Allyson Felix has just won her third gold medal of these championships and her fourth in all to equal the all-time women's athletics record set by Fanny Black.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you something about this last image you're looking at. That's a whole lot of eye. That's Francina McCory, finalist in the 400 meters. She worked her individual butt off to be her very best for the team and for herself. That was me. You guys know I worked hard. Fought my way back to the Olympic podium from the bottom. Sonia Richards-Ross. In 2008, she got the bronze medal in the 400 meters. Guess what? She didn't like that. She went back home. She worked hard. She trained hard. She found a new way to win. Now see, the story and the equation of success doesn't change just because the story isn't about me. She did the same exact thing and came back. And when she needed to make 1/2 of a stride to take the win, something inside her, let me tell you what it was, pressure, baby. It pushed her. And she was able to get the gold in the 400. Allison Felix, 200-meter gold medalist. This is a whole lot of greatness because these 4 individuals decided to work their hardest to be their best so that when they took on the team jacket and the team pride, they would be the best that they could be. See, I know, sounds weird, but there's a little I in team. Now, this is an amazing race because it also helped us to understand what it takes to be a great team member. See, you have to be able to give your very best, number one. Yeah, get your phones out, get your phones out. Snap that. You have to remember that, number one, if you give your very best, you become a stronger link to the team. If the team doesn't have your best, then the team can't be its best. Now, number two, you have to be willing to sacrifice. Man, you got to be willing to give some stuff up, man. I went out there and told them girls I couldn't run that day. Had to make the sacrifice, the hard choice, just so that the team could succeed. And in 2008, guess what, you guys? They won the gold. We, Team USA, won the gold. That's okay. If I wasn't a part of that race, I was still a part of the team. The third thing is communication. Without communication, you guys, it's very tough. We are all working different little parts of the team. We're all little pieces of the puzzle that make the whole picture come together. So it's very important that you communicate, even when you're working on your own individual strengths. To be the best asset for the team, you have to communicate with each other so that you guys know what the other one is doing, and when you come together, it works out. Now, do you think that my teammates could be running in that fast? Here we go, come on, and we have no communication. I'm taking off running about 18 miles per hour on my feet, and she can hand me a stick. Okay, see, that takes communication. It takes practice, but it takes communication, even if it's eye contact. We're looking at each other. We're communicating. I'm saying, come on, come on. She's saying, okay, I got you. I said, give me the stick. Okay, let's go. It's all in our eyes. But we've practiced this. We've communicated how we're going to do it. Communication is a key component. Lastly, you have to share a common goal. Like I told you guys, you don't have to have a lot in common with the person that or the team members you're working with. You don't have to go to Starbucks every day and drink coffee together. Doesn't matter. I don't want a cafe mocha with you. That's okay. You don't have to be besties. But what you do need to be is in common with each other on one goal. See, we had one goal, you guys. A common goal is so important, it helped us to get a common gold. Okay, see, all 4 of us knew one thing we wanted, baby. This little guy, well, not so little. We wanted this medal right here, and because we had this in common, we could care less about the other things. All we needed to have was a common goal. And when you have a common goal, baby, you can get to the common gold. Now, let me tell you one more thing that's super important. I talk about forms of power, right? I said pressure was power. I said progress was power. I said confidence was power. And I said positivity was power. But there's a 5th power, you guys. The 5th power is the most powerful of all powerful forces. It's belief. See, if you do not believe that you are capable of achieving what you are setting out to achieve, if you can't believe it, if you can't even see yourself where you want to be in your imagination, if you cannot believe it, I cannot express to you how far away from it you are. Your finish line is where? You have to believe. See, you're surrounded by powerful forces every day. Bring them in. You can't tell me that positivity can't be a powerful force in your life. You cannot tell me that pressure can't be a powerful force in your life. And you cannot tell me that positivity and confidence and progress, you cannot tell me that these are not available to you. They're available, they're all around you. And belief is the hardest one because a lot of us possess something called fear. Fear of failure. Fear of disappointment. Fear of letting yourself down. See, the only way to defeat fear is with belief. Because belief is the omega of power. When you have belief and you enter it into your equation of success, you will get closer and closer to your dream. Your finish line will start running back to you. You can get there, but only if you believe. Now, you guys have been an amazing audience. I want to thank you all for listening. And I want you to remember pressure, positivity, progress, confidence, and belief are all around you. Use them to elevate yourself to great heights and push yourself fast in the direction you choose. Get to your goals. Don't miss your gold medal moment. You are capable of greatness, you and your team, if you believe. So don't ever take for granted the things that are in your life, you guys. They're there to help you. Failure, loss, and disappointment can be the foundation of your success. Use them as motivation. And teamwork will truly make the dream work. Thank you guys so much. It's been an amazing audience. Thank you. Standing up, yay! Thank you guys. You're awesome.
Thank you, DeeDee. Thank you all for having shared with us your time and having been inspired. E eu convido a todos vocês que na segunda-feira atentem aos seus e-mails de inscrição, que nós vamos anunciar quem das 6 apresentações que a DeeDee fez para a EF no Brasil vai ser o vencedor de 4 semanas de curso, uma semana de curso em qualquer um dos 50 destinos ao redor do mundo, onde você pode estudar com a gente. A gente fica à disposição. DeeDee, you're going to be around for having a chat. Feel free to join. Muito obrigado por terem vindo aí. Por favor. Se tiver algum...
Anyone have any questions they'd like to ask?
Hi, DeeDee. Congratulations, first of all. I would like to ask you, how would you describe your first Olympic medal and your last one? Like, how can you compare?
I think, can I use Is your mic? My first Olympic medal, I was still in college. So this medal, I really hadn't come to fully understand the significance of the Olympic Games. I was really there in a capacity of, oops, I made the team. Yay me. And so when I got to the Olympic Games, I was just very buried in the idea of competition. I didn't fully understand the magnitude of what the Olympic Games meant and how worldly and wonderful it was for people all over. It hadn't become it didn't have its powerful face that it has now to me. But that medal in 2004, it's kind of funny. I wasn't emotional about it. I won the medal, and I got on the podium, and I was like, yay, we kicked everybody's butt. Thank you. Awesome. And I went home, and then it hit me real late. I got off an airplane, and this lady, she recognized me from the television, somebody I didn't know, a complete stranger, and she walked up to me, and she said, oh my God. And she's trembling, like she's shaking, and she was crying, saying, you are so amazing. You must have worked so hard. Oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Thank you for representing our country. And at that moment, it hit me like, whoa, I did something pretty important. That was really random, lady. But she kind of made me fully understand how big of a deal what I had been doing as just performing and just being my best, how big of an impact it had on other people and how inspiring it was. I would then go to the homecoming at my university. I was the Grand Marshal, and I walked into the stadium, and they were honoring all the Olympians from our school. And they said, and our very own Olympic gold medalist, DeeDee Trotter. And the entire football stadium stood to their feet, and they were cheering, and I started to cry finally. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, this is really cool. And that's when it made sense to me that an entire stadium of people who were clearly there for football didn't care. They just were proud of their Olympian, and it made them stand to their feet. So that medal had a late or delayed response. 2012, I knew what it was all about. It was also one of those races where it was potentially my last Olympic Games. And coming from so much, coming from the bottom, those medals, we were 1.4 seconds off of the world record, the fastest time run in almost 20 years. So not only did we do great for the United States, we also did an amazing performance on a world scale and on a history scale. So that race will never have any real comparison. Thank you. Any other questions? Did someone have a question up top? Oh, yeah.
Just for a gente tem a transmissão, só vou alcançar o microfone porque as pessoas.
And you can ask anything. I'm very transparent. So if you have any even weird questions like, do you have a boyfriend? Like, I get that all the time. A Brazilian boyfriend? I got that one earlier. I do have a boyfriend, not a Brazilian boyfriend. I do have a boyfriend, yes.
Hi, congratulations. My name is Edson. I'm a work with insurance. I'm a insurance broker. Then we are Brazilian. You like so much football. You like a sport with most than one person. Then when you are on the line, on the track, you are alone. And where did you find power to continue? In your family, your friends, your coach? Where did you find?
You know what? This is a hard question because the honest answer is a little bit hurtful. When I was down and really, really down. I lost a lot of things. I lost my Adidas contract. I lost supporters. You know, there was a lot of loss, not just races. At that time, you start to realize that when you're not doing well or when you're not maybe on top, fewer and fewer and fewer people believe in you. And you find that the source of motivation that you're really going to have to rely on is the one you create for yourself. Spiritually, I'm a believer in God. So for me, when I didn't have a lot of outside sources to pull from, I went to a one source that I knew I could always count on. So I called on my spiritual belief to be the stronghold in my situation, because otherwise I had kind of ran out. And sometimes it can get to that point where you feel like maybe there aren't a lot of people pulling for you. But I'm here to tell you, you don't need a whole bunch of people to pull for you. It's nice. It's wonderful if you have a team of people that are like, yes, go, you can do it. But it's not necessary. If you believe in yourself, anything you want to do, your greatest will be possible. You don't need a lot of extra. That's how I made it through. You're welcome. Anybody else have any questions? Thank you. Yes, right here. Yeah, online question. Awesome. We had one here. Do you want to?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Okay. Online, we have a question. Tem uma pergunta online about your warrior. So you became very famous as well for having that. Mm-hmm. So do you have a question about that? So they want to listen a little bit about
the paint that I wear on my face. So in 2008, after I had my knee surgery, it was kind of the way that I self-motivated. I would put this paint on my face, and I would go to every track meet. And even though I was getting last at almost all of them, I was still on camera. All the cameras would come around, and they would put their cameras on my face, and they were like, and this DeeDee Trotter, she used to be this or that, and she won this and that. They talk about me, even though they had no good reason to. I was terrible. But see, this was something that I used to generate pressure for myself. I knew that if I put that paint on my face, the cameras would come, people would watch, and it created another form of pressure for me. Because now people are, she wouldn't put that paint on her face if she wasn't going to run well, you know? So it created more pressure for me. And then by 2012, I was using it as motivation, or I was using it as a way to push myself. By 2012, at the Olympic Games, I earned the nickname Glitter Face Warrior. Yeah. The London Olympics thought, some of the London media thought that I looked pretty, but I still looked really tough. So they called me the Glitter Face Warrior, and it kind of stuck. So I like it. Thanks, online. And here, my question, yes.
Hi, DeeDee.
Hi.
Your talk really took me. My name is Fabiola. Fabi, you can call me.
Hi, Fabi.
Hi. And maybe my question is a weird question, but how did you planning your financial goals when you lose your Adidas contract? How the financial controlling was important for you during this time? Could you explain to us?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so not a weird question at all, by the way. After losing my contract in 2008, I signed a secondary contract with another shoe company. But in this signing, I ended up signing for 50% less than what I was making with my Adidas deal. So it's a major cut there. Thankfully, I hadn't bought $1 million house. So I was living within my means. So it wasn't too dramatic. I had savings. I also had great advisement from my coaches who helped me to start a 401k and retirement and start these things up, because in the sport of track and field, we don't actually have any of that. We're a sport that seems like we have certain financial support, but at the end of the day, in the United States, we don't have it set up where you have pension or 401k. You don't have any of that. So you have to create it for yourself. Thankfully, I had smart people around me who, when I initially started my Adidas deal, helped me to get on a path of get on a responsible financial path. After that, it became about just crunching dollars. If it wasn't necessary, I didn't get it. Thankfully, like I said, I had those 5 years where I wasn't living above my means. I had a car that was reasonable. I had a house that was reasonable. So basically, every end got to meet, but it was close. My contract had a gradual increase. It was negotiated, so I would go from 60 to 70 to 80 over the course of the contract. It would go up in 10 increments, okay? This allowed me to start having a little bit of space. But for a while, it was tight. No kidding. I really had to crunch. I really had to cut back. I used to be a girl who would get my nails done every 2 weeks. That's $50 a visit. That's $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year. Guess what? No more nails. Because $1,200 is 1 month at my mortgage. You see, so I just had to cut back. I had to reduce the unnecessary expenses in my life. It's actually been a very useful skill set, because at some point you never know what's going to occur. You have a job, and one day you do, and the next day you might not. So this skill that I learned during this trying time actually helped me later on in life, as I would again hit some financial bumps and humps, and then you're back saying, okay, now how did I do that last time? I fixed that. Okay, got it. You know, so it was a trying transition, but thankfully, due to advanced planning and having smart, I guess you can say, advisors, mentors, exactly, these people helped to put me on track. So it's always good to have someone that has that you feel has a respectable financial way of life. They're usually good for some advice.
And so it's not about to drain, but to drain with planning, right?
Absolutely. Training and planning is the same thing. She said it. Training is planning for your success. Same thing with financial. It's planning for your future success. So it's very important that if you guys are looking at where you are, I know when you're starting up something new, some of you guys are creators and you're coming up with new plans and ideas and strategies, and you're working with teams of people to help you guys make something come to life. It takes money, and it takes risk, and it does. But you have to remember that there has to be some type of balance. There has to be some type of safety net so that you can, you know, somehow land on your feet, even if things don't work out the first try, because we're going to try again, and again, and again. Try. We changed the saying, didn't we? Any more questions?
First question.
Yeah.
What did you study in college?
Oh, I actually went to the University of Tennessee. I got my bachelor's degree in sociology with a minor in criminal justice, because initially I thought I was going to be an FBI agent of some sort. So I wasn't going to be running on tracks. I was going to be chasing criminals. So yeah, CSI. So that's what I thought I was going to do with my life at some point. I did get my degree on time, by the way. I went professional in my third year of college, and I had 1 year of school left. And I came back and graduated on time. It made me the first athlete at the university to do so. So education first.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Oh, right here, one here. I'll give him this one, and I'll take that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
So, hi, my name is Gabriel, and I am an advertising/marketing student. And I read your interview for EF's blog, and I know that but a big part of your speech is about education and youth. So as you may know, we are facing a lot of issue problems locally here in Brazil and internationally, like we see that happen in Barcelona, right? So, and this is affecting directly young people. So what do you think that education, what is the importance of education in changing the direction of the pressure to move us forward?
Changing the direction of?
To move us forward.
To move us forward.
Yeah.
Education is always a key component to moving things forward. It's the progressional mechanism that's required for us to have evolution, I believe. Education, when not taken seriously, and as we have some instances where education is obviously declining, and I know that we have a lot of positive things to look towards in education, but we also have this demographic of failing education. And this is what's challenging, because as those fail, we start to lose the momentum towards a successful future. Ah, man. When we don't have that, it makes it impossible to have opportunities like Google Campus and all of the great things that make our technology thrive and ideas and businesses thrive. We need leaders. We need successful people. We need smart people. So in order to make progress towards that, I think it's important that educated people continue to go back and reach back and encourage those who are in the situation, who are struggling maybe or on the cusp of trying to figure out an alternative way or where they want to be in life. It's important that we reach back and continue to push people towards education. It's starting to get a little lighter, I think, because there's ways to be successful now that don't necessarily require that you go to school or get a degree, and everybody's looking for the fun, easy way to, you know, kind of make it. But I mean, there's only so much time in life that you can do those type of things. You need to be able to you know, do something that has some type of skill set and something that can help you progress in life and be an asset to the world. So that's what I believe anyway. So, you know, I may not run anymore, and that may not have been the job that people thought was necessarily the most educating, but I found a way to use what I've done in my gift and my education to still help other people be encouraged and educate them on different ways of life. So it's about giving back. That's the way we continue to make progress. Good question. Anybody else have a question? One more up top.
See if I will be able to express myself. When we have some big competitions, as World Cup and Olympic Games, it's usually we have United States as one of the countries that is in the first positions in number of medals and things like that. You told that what I would like to know is, what do you think it's different from the policies or the people, the American people, to get this place regarding to sports, yeah, comparing to other countries that perhaps face the same difficulties or not? And I would like your point of view about that.
Yes, that's a very good question. Basically, what she's asking is, when we have these major competitions, the United States is always in the top. So what is it that we're doing that allows us to continuously hold these top positions that's so different from what other countries are doing, that they're not able to have the same positioning on a regular or continuous basis? I think the difference is that in the United States, sports is kind of bred at a very young age. We use it through high school as incentive. We use it in college as incentive. And we use it as professionals as incentive. From a young age, the opportunity of being a professional athlete in almost any sport is incentive. So you start to work hard, and there's clubs, and there's little kids this and little kids that, and you can pretty much do any sport from almost any age in the U.S., and it's typical. This is very typical. So I think the difference is we put a lot of emphasis on sports in the United States because we also see it as a connection to education. For me, I didn't pay one dime to go to college. I used sport. So this incentive is what pushes a lot of students and athletes to be involved in them. And when you're your best, you get incentive to get to college and get this scholarship and be able to pay for your education at no cost to you. So when you do that, it creates a pool of individuals that we have to choose from. And when we have our trials process and we break down the best in the world, we've been training for a long time. And so I think that because we have an education system that's connected to sports, that's pretty much what's strengthening our sports programs. And then because of that, we invest a lot into sport. We have great facilities. We have great doctors. We have great coaches. We have great resources. Our resources are numerous because it's a part of the package. College sports is huge in the United States. I'm not so sure it has the same weight in other countries. Yeah, exactly. And many places that I've gone, it's not the same. So I think because of that connection and that ability for there being huge incentive for participating in sports and the possibilities of a successful career with sport, that is what keeps that intensity and that drive, and that keeps deepening our pool of people to choose from. The greatness keeps rising. So that's how I think we can continue. And we're a pretty big country as well. We have lots of numbers. So when we have that kind of volume, we definitely do well. I think other countries, I was asked this when I went to, I was in Mexico City, and they asked me the similar question. And they said, what can we do? How can we get our athletes to be better? How can we, get, recognition on that scale? And I said, well, you got to start pulling on some resources. Maybe start flying in some of these champions to come in and help train your champions and give you feedback into the things that you can do in order to upgrade your facilities and help your athletes to take better physical care of themselves. Nutrition, diet, physical, massage, treatment, all these things are a part of the equation. So they have to start pulling back. They have to actually invest a little more if they want to get a little more. Now, Brazil has had great athletes, especially volleyball. So I think that it's still maybe not as much, maybe club-based, but I still think that there is an opportunity for more improvement for smaller countries if they invest a little more and pull from outside resources of people who have made it through the journey of greatness. They can share a little bit of what it takes. Military. Most of the athletes are military. They train. This makes sense, and they're great. So that's pretty awesome. But again, it doesn't come from school, right? No. Exactly.
When you find out that you have this gift for runner. Well, I am a Reis, R-E-I-S. Okay. Thank you. Nice to meet you. And I'd like to know, when did you find out that you have this gift for runner?
Oh, this
was in the childhood or in college or?
This is a fun question. I like this question. So I was probably in second grade. I was probably, what is that? Second grade is 8 years old, seven or so? 7? I was about 7 years old, And I was the fastest kid in my school. We would do like little competitions out at recess and on the playground. And I would be out there and I'm like, ready, set, go. And I was like, and I would beat everybody, boys included. The boys would cry when they lost to the girl. I'm serious, real tears. They were crying, okay? Now, after that, I still didn't really know I just the fastest kid in school, but one day, my grandpa, rest his soul, he asked me and my cousins, my older cousins, they were boys, he said, DeeDee's fast. None of y'all can beat her. And he said, go over there, you'll see. You can't beat her, right? So my grandpa tells us to start at the mailbox. From the stop sign to the mailbox was the race, okay? You start at the stop sign, you finish at the mailbox, okay? On your mark, get set, go. I was running. This time I ran like this, though. And I ran across the mailbox, and I beat them all. Said, look, I told you, that girl's fast. She's fast. And they were crying. Again, they were crying. My cousin Sean, if you're watching this, yes, you were crying. But that's at a very young age, I knew I had a gift of running. I had no intention of using it. I never expected to be a track and field Olympic athlete. Never in my dreams. So it's a pretty nice gift. Thank you. Yeah. One more question here.
From now on, what's your main goal? Do you have like a big dream that you'll just focus and see what is wanted to do for, from now on?
Yeah. I love this question. Okay, so now that I'm retired and I don't run in circles anymore, literally, you guys think you're tired of your day-to-day routine. Try running in circles every day. It's literally repetitive. I'm tired of coming into this office. Try running in circles every day. Okay. So, for 15 years, literally. Okay, so now that I'm retired, I am super excited because motivational speaking is something I love as well. And it's a gift that keeps on giving, so I won't ever stop doing that, even if I don't do it full-time for EF. But my goal is to start my own bakery. Yeah, I'm a baker. I bake lots of yummy treats. You guys want to see some? Yes. Okay. So in my last year, I decided that I was going to spend a little more time focusing on some of the things that when you're focused on training, you don't really get to step out much. You have to kind of really zero in, okay? Stepping out too much could be the difference between being on the podium and being off the podium. You don't really introduce a lot of outside factors into your equation at that time. So my last year, retirement year, when I was going through all of the injections and, yikes, knee injuries, I decided that I was going to start honing in on something that I really loved, but had been kind of afraid to give my time to, because I wasn't sure if I was going to be any good at it. I just knew I liked it. So I ended up starting baking every day. I started self-teaching, and I would work on a new cooking technique every week. Basically, I went online, I looked at some of the cooking curriculum for one of the top culinary schools in the U.S., and I said, okay, this is what they're doing. I don't have the opportunity right now to go to this school. But what in the meantime, I'm not going to waste time. I'm just going to kind of pull a little bit of their, teachings and work on it myself, see if I could practice on my own. So every week, I would work on 3 different cooking techniques. And I would train myself in different cooking arts, French culinary, Italian, all these different types of pastries and desserts, try new things, make new recipes, and I formed my own cookbook. Now, I didn't put this cookbook on the market. Don't go looking for DeeDee's new cookbook. It's not out. But I started to create a curriculum for myself, self-taught. So I started making these little treats. And every time I got a chance, whether it was with my goddaughters who loved the Minions, or if it was for a birthday party or an event, I had awesome taste subjects because I had an entire track team of hungry kids who wanted to eat nothing but junk food. So I would bring my cakes and I'd give them a little card. They have to fill it out, tell me if they loved it, liked it, hated it, what they wanted more of, what I could do better. Self-critique. So I started baking all these little snacks. I have my Cookie Monster. Isn't he cute? His eyes are gumballs. A little burger, completely edible, all frosting. But these are called my cuppy cakes, my signature little dishes. Cherry red velvet. And I think this next one is raspberry and cream. This one's a hit with everybody. And this is my key lime. Self-taught even in the decoration. So I'm not so bad at it. Turned out I was pretty good. So good, in fact, that I want to start my own bakery. So that's my ultimate goal. I'm working on it piece by piece. As you guys know, it's a process. The hard part right now that I'm struggling with is time. I'm on the road a lot. In 2016 and 2017, I've probably made 5 around the world trips, just in that 1 year, 16 to 17. So there hasn't been a lot of time since I retired to work on my baking, but there's a whole business plan that needs to be developed. So while I cannot maybe bake it, I can still start getting it ready. So I've had a couple of meetings, I met with a designer, got some good ideas, came up with a name. Y'all want to hear the name? Are we still live? Yes. Huh. It's not trademarked. I'll tell y'all later. But either way, I'm working on it. So yeah, work in progress. And you know, one of the things I tell people is that when you have a goal, the one thing that you really have to do is tell people about it. It puts pressure on you. So you start telling as many people as you can. So I just told a room full of people that I'm going to start a bakery. Kind of makes me have to do it. Are you guys going to look at me 2 years from now and say, I ain't listening to nothing DeeDee Trotter said. She said she was going to start a bakery. How's she going to tell us how to do something? And she didn't even do it. So now I got to stand up and do it, right? So keep your eye out for me. I'll be bringing pastries back to Brazil, São Paulo, in traffic, trying to get here on time to bring you some snacks so I could take your money. Yeah, so my bakery, name, TM. When I get the TM, then y'all can hear the name. But that's what I'm doing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. You're so awesome.
Pessoal, mais uma vez, muito obrigado. E a gente fica à disposição no ef.com para poder auxiliá-los vocês a fazer que nem ela, 5 voltas ao mundo. Desculpe. Obrigado.